They began as ordinary uploads, short, grainy, easy to scroll past. Then something in the frame stopped being ordinary. Before we dive into each one, stick around until the end. Subscribe and tap like if you enjoy these kinds of compilations, and stay with me through all 8. Now, watch closely. Sandra's Music Box. Sandra was known for upbeat, cozy posts about baking and thrift finds. She had lost her mother 2 months before, and the kitchen of her small apartment still smelled faintly of lemon oil and old perfume. One evening, she filmed a casual unboxing, a lacquered music box she said she'd found at a relative's estate sale. The camera lingers over worn velvet, a ribbon, a tiny brass key. Then, halfway through the clip, it wound itself. Not by a visible hand. The lid was closed. Sandra's hand rested on the counter across the room. The tune that came out was off-key, slow, the sort of melody that sounds like childhood and rain at once. In the recording, you can hear Sandra whisper, "Mom used to hum that." She reaches for the box and freezes when a faint, tremulous voice seems to trace the last line of the melody with her name. Comments flooded in. A viewer said the voice matched a voicemail Sandra had posted a year earlier. Another suggested editing. A local, calling herself a medium, left a message saying the family had left a ring with the box years ago. Sandra later posted a still frame close to the camera where the ring was visible beneath the velvet, an heirloom she said her mother wore at the hospital. Sandra's reaction in the footage is not theatrical. She breathes, blinks, and presses the box shut. She captions a follow-up post, "I don't know what to believe. May her mother rest in peace." The clip closes with the tune stuck on one looping note that seems to go on longer than physically plausible. Skeptics pointed to hidden wires or an off-screen friend. Others insisted that a timing glitch in playback could create the illusion of a voice. Whatever the cause, the symbol lingers. The music box as memory, the tune as a bridge. It sits in the mind like a single, suspended note. Restroom stall peek. Lucia, a college sophomore who live-streamed late-night study sessions, posted a short vertical of a campus restroom. The image is jittery, shot from under a stall door because she dropped her notes. She narrates in breathless whispers, "I thought it was a prank." On the floor, a pale hand slips under the gap, fingers curled as if reaching for a paper towel. The hand withdraws before the camera lifts enough to show the sole of a shoe. A whispered sob that is not Lucia's comes through the audio, and then the overhead lights flicker twice. The campus security account replied that no intruder was recorded on their patrol feed, and a commenter uploaded footage from another angle showing the same flicker minutes later, only no hand appears there. In follow-up comments, classmates wondered whether sleep deprivation and the building's faulty wiring explained the moment. The hand, however, is the image that hooks the imagination. A boundary breached, private space exposed. Lucia's clip ended with the camera cutting to black and her whispered, "I don't want to go back in there." Some said it was staged for shock. Others felt the way the shot lingered on the gap suggested something that belonged to a different kind of night. Deserted school shadows. Mike ran a page focused on urban exploration. The hallway he filmed was cold with dust. Light from a cracked window sliced sheets of airborne grit. He and a friend joked into the camera, the bravado thin. Then, mid-laugh, both stop when a movement crosses the far wall. Not a figure, but a shadow that seems to peel away from the plaster and crawl like a spill. The sound drops out for a heartbeat. The friend says, barely audible, "Did you see that?" When they speed the footage later, the shadow's contour sharpens against an old mural. And some commenters noticed a perfect alignment with an antique curtain rod in the frame, suggesting the motion was a trick of loose fabric. A former janitor, tagged by a follower, commented that ventilation flaps in that wing created odd gusts. Still, the clip's most talked about moment is the shadow's edge licking an empty locker, pausing as if listening. For many viewers, the symbol is the school itself. Memory locked in lockers, shadows that keep the outline of things once present. Basement Lullaby. Amber recorded a baby monitor clip she shared on a parenting account. She'd gone down to check laundry. The monitor, perched on the stairs, caught something else. At 3:07 a.m., while the infant slept, a melody played. A slow, round, near imperceptible lullaby with a harmonica-like timbre. Amber's caption notes that no music was set, and the mobile was off. She runs down breathlessly and finds nothing tangible. No phone left on, no Bluetooth speaker. A curious commenter examined the audio waveform and posted an overlay showing a faint harmonic that matched an old recording Amber once released of a lullaby her grandmother used to sing. Amber swears she never played that file again. In private messages, some followers offered mundane causes: interference from nearby appliances, stray radio signals weaving into the monitor. Others left comforting theory: the lullaby was a loop of family memory returning to soothe. Amber's hands shake as she tucks the baby back in. She brushes a fingertip against the monitor as if to reassure it of limits. The symbol here is the lullaby itself, a thread from one generation to the next, audible in a place meant for sleep and safety. Porch swing at midnight. An elderly man, Mr. Alvarez, shared a security cam clip from his porch. He lived alone. His daughter checked on him digitally. The cam shows the yard in grainy monochrome. The swing hangs still, moonlight rhyming the armrests. At 12:04, the swing rocks slightly and sets into a slow arc. There is no wind on the microphone channel, and Mr. Alvarez's hands are visible in the frame. He sets his cup down and walks inside. When the swing pauses, the camera's timestamp shows a second-long gap, as if the recorder hiccuped. Neighbors commented that the sound of the old house settling could explain small movement. One neighbor uploaded a daytime clip showing a loose bolt on the swing. Mr. Alvarez answered that the bolt had been tightened weeks earlier. The emotional knot here is simple. The place where a family used to sit now moves as if holding a phantom presence. Mr. Alvarez later mentions on his account that his late wife loved the swing. He leaves a small bouquet on the seat in a follow-up photo. The footage's strongest image is the empty swing moving on its own, the emblem of an absent companionship that still keeps motion. The classroom voice. A substitute teacher left a handheld recorder in an otherwise empty classroom. She later uploaded the audio to a sharing site. The file is mostly silence, the kind that hums from fluorescent lights and distant traffic. At 2:18, a very faint phrase is captured, almost as if it comes from outside the walls. I remember. The timbre is thin and childlike. It matches no known recording in the teacher's phone. She posts a short caption: "Students gone for summer. Who's remembering?" A parent in the thread claims the same words were scrawled in a yearbook decades ago. Another commenter suggests a neighbor playing with an old cassette recorder could have bled the sound into the microphone. The clip forces an angle many clips refuse: memory itself as audio evidence. A voice with no body, a sentence that insists on existence by repeating a verb of continuity. The teacher's tone in subsequent videos is a mixture of amusement and small unease. She admits she plays the file at night sometimes, as if to make the mystery companionable. The locker that opens. In a suburban gym, a teenager named Jordan set up his camera to catch locker room pranks. His footage shows him throwing a towel into locker 12 and closing the door with a bang. Later, with friends gathered, locker 12 opens slowly on its own, the metal hinge whining. Jordan's laugh turns to a low, nervous sound. He reaches down to reclose it and finds a folded note inside that reads in looping, careful handwriting, "I watched you win." Jordan insists he never wrote that, and the handwriting doesn't match any of the teammates. A teammate posts a clip showing a slow leak in the locker's latch. Sustained rust can allow a door to swing free. Yet the note's presence complicates the plausible narrative. How did paper get there? A school counselor who comments suggests a prank connected to rivalry. Others point to a former student who once practiced in that gym and tragically fell years ago. A faded newspaper clipping pinned to the gym's bulletin board in the background shows the name. The symbol becomes the locker, a small metal box of secrets that opens just enough to let memory escape. The daycare toy. A daycare worker recorded a short loop on an internal camera once the children had left for the day. A plush rabbit lay on the carpet. At 4:44 p.m., the rabbit's head turns a degree, and then another, as if listening. The worker posted the footage with a note, "I sat there for 5 minutes, no drafts." Parents reacted with a mix of concern and tenderness. One mother said her child insisted the rabbit needed to listen to a song the night before. A commenter, citing infrared camera behavior, said heat differentials can produce subtle pixel shifts that read as movement. The daycare's director later uploaded an audit showing the HVAC had been running a timed cycle that afternoon, but the timing did not match the movement. The most haunting detail is the toy's tiny tilt towards the closed window, like an ear turned to a remembered voice. For caregivers, objects like toys carry weight as stand-ins for children's presence. A plush that appears to orient itself offers a sudden, intimate suggestion that the place still holds the echoes of laughter. The door that shouldn't be. A homeowner named Priya installed a door sensor after a spate of neighborhood break-ins. One night, she reviewed footage when she heard a ping from the app. The door's status read open for 3 seconds, though the porch camera shows no one leaving or entering. The time-stamped frame shows a door that tilts inward a fraction, as if brushed by something. Priya, whose father was once a locksmith, examined the latch in daylight. He found no tampering. She shared the clip with a local online group, and a commenter sent an old home movie from the house's previous owner, where a small girl once opens that same door at dusk and steps out. The film date reads decades earlier. Priya's family had renovated since then. The door in the clip closes again after the 3 seconds, and the app sends an alert that the connection was lost momentarily. People debated gear malfunction, remote access glitches, and prank apps. For Priya, the door is a threshold. The image evokes the sense that some thresholds remember the bodies that cross them. Between each of these short accounts, the tone shifts like a page turn. Quick when they set the scene, slow when the oddity appears. Some clips invite technical explanations, faulty wiring, loose hinges, playback artifacts. Others collect a skein of emotional proof, a ring, a matching voicemail, a note folded inside a locker. Where grief is present, the narration softens. Sandra's music box and Mr. Alvarez's porch swing are told with restraint, honoring what is lost while still asking hard questions. There are voices beyond the uploader, an amateur audio analyst who posts overlays, a former janitor with a practical eye, a commenter who claims to recognize a voicemail. A few accounts offer spirituale interpretaciones. Their claims are presented as such. A psychic claimed, a commenter said, never definitive. The archive grows messy and human. Half of the evidence lives in metadata, in waveform shapes, in timestamps slightly out of sync. Half of it lives in the way people talk about what they saw. Arguments flare in the comment sections between those who demand reproducibility and those who say reproducibility is not the point. For many viewers, the point is less prove it than feel it. The small, intimate chill that comes when something ordinary refuses to be contained. If there is a pattern, it's in the objects and thresholds, the music box, the stall gap, the swing, the locker, the toy, the door. Each suggests an interface between memory and presence, a place something used to be and the outline it left behind. Whether you read these as glitches, pranks, or traces of those who are gone, they attach themselves to the viewer's own quiet places. After watching the compilation, some people write about late-night creaks they never noticed before. Others send in clips of their own, a kettle that clicks when no one is in the kitchen, a photo with a face in the window. The comments thread becomes a secondary archive, a communal place where skepticism and consolation sit side by side. There are no definitive endings here. The door that should not open, opens and closes in the footage, and the homeowner leaves a lamp on overnight for a week. Jordan tapes the locker shut and posts a caption half-joking about leaving a thank you note inside the next morning. Mr. Alvarez tightens the swing's bolt and buys a new cushion. He leaves the bouquet anyway. Sandra returns the music box to a locked drawer, and months later, a follower messages saying their own grandmother's watch started ticking again after a long silence. The network of small events suggests a single idea. Memory moves in unexpected ways, and sometimes the ordinary mechanics of a home or a campus become the stage for that movement. What would you do if you saw any of these on your feed? Share your take, your doubts, your chills. If you have a clip to send in, there's an address in the channel info where viewers share things they've caught but can't explain. In the meantime, keep watching the little things, the music playing off-key, the shadow that does not match a body, the swing that remembers. Those are the moments that refuse to let the past settle quietly.